This video is part of the Project for Awesome 2008. I'm going to be talking about the Pretty Bird Woman House, an emergency shelter for victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and sexual abuse on the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation in North and South Dakota. It's been open since January of 2005 and has faced significant financial troubles. The original location had to be closed down after several break-ins. They stole everything, holes in the drywall, and then they torched the place. It was completely unusable. Thanks to generous donations, they were able to raise over $77,000 and buy a new house in December 2007. The Pretty Bird Woman House was started by Jackie Brown Otter after the rape and murder of her sister. The shelter runs a crisis line which mostly takes calls from domestic violence victims. Their physical location serves as an emergency shelter for women with no place to go after a crime. Victims can then be moved to a hospital for medical care or work on more permanent housing solutions. Pretty Bird Woman House also provides court advocacy support, driving women to court dates, and generally helping them navigate the complex legal system. One of their most important services is community education programs, which are absolutely essential in stopping sexual assault, not just in this community, but in general. Because their main purpose is crisis intervention and emergency shelter, their limited resources are used fairly quickly. Women who arrive seeking shelter often leave their homes with nothing but themselves. Pretty Bird Woman House needs material donations like clothing and toiletries. Right now they're specifically asking for women's hygiene products like shampoo, conditioner, and soap, as well as towels. And of course there's ongoing donations of funds through PayPal. Please consider adding the Chip In widget to your blog, MySpace, whatever. Pretty Bird Woman House is a charitable organization, so all donations are tax deductible. Money will go to supplies, education programs, day-to-day necessities, and more staff. Getting more staff is a huge goal for the shelter. Their current director has chronic health problems and worries about what will happen when she can no longer work. She stated she'd like to be able to hire 4 paid advocates, 2 of whom would focus solely on sexual assault issues. Everything you give them gets them one step closer to this goal. Now let's talk about the issues. Rape is a largely unaddressed problem in Native American communities. Not that it's talked about much at all. A 2007 Amnesty International report found that 1 in 3 Native American women will be the victim of rape in her lifetime. Rapes go unreported, and because they're often committed by outsiders, they can't be prosecuted. Native American victims have the same thoughts as other victims of rape and abuse. They don't report the crime because they think nothing will be done. And unfortunately, they're sometimes right. Tribal courts are federally underfunded and can only give a maximum sentence of 1 year for any crime. Tribal courts can only deal with crimes by and against members of the tribe, so any rapes by non-Native Americans are out of their jurisdiction. Jurisdiction of state and federal officials is even fuzzier. One crime can technically be under several different departments, and they each get in each other's way. Often, any crimes committed on reservations won't even be investigated by the police just because they don't know if they're supposed to. Misunderstandings are a function of the system and only lead to the re-victimization of these women. Once a case is being investigated, there are reports of lost or destroyed evidence that make conviction impossible. Women are given the typical dismissal of being drunk or having consented. Why go to the police if they refuse to help? The Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network estimates that 60% of rapes go unreported. 60%. This is population-wide, not just in Native American communities. Of course, this issue is bigger than just Native Americans. It's an entire society that promotes men as harmless pranksters participating in casual violence, and women as whores who either asked for it or are deserving of it just by their nature. Combine this with a historical precedent of white privilege and indigenous people being treated as little more than objects, and you're left with the startling reality that Native Americans are 2.5 times more likely to be victims of rape or sexual assault than U.S. women in general. The women at Pretty Bird Woman House are victims of assault and abuse by strangers, friends, and family. Rape is a completely unreasonable crime. It is always, always an act of violence. Make every effort in your own community to stop it and donate to shelters to help its victims. Thank you, YouTube, and don't forget to be awesome.